Hello viewer. As you can see, I'm ferrying some wood downstairs that I've scavenged from the partitioning that I tore down upstairs and denailed. So that'll be taken over to our current house, fed through the table saw into nice small pieces for kindling to start the fires to keep me warm of an evening. Next thing to consider is slightly bigger. So I'm going to nip into the barn in a few seconds and consider sawing up some of those logs that you can see that were up above that main beam. These logs were supporting all of the hay that you can now see down on the ground, and those logs, some of them are in pretty rotten state. So I've taken several of them down. Some of them I've already cut up, and a few you can see on the floor there. So I'm now going to address those ones that are on the floor and cut those into smaller pieces and then cart them out to the car and take them back to the house. On we go. Now I'll load them into the car and think of something else to do, because there's so much choice. So, out of all of the tree trunks which are going across there, or pieces of wood that are forming the base of the mezzanine, there are 3, maybe 4 of the ones that are remaining up there, which are proper sort of probably oak beams. They were probably repurposed from somewhere else, but I can see there's silver birch. There might be an ash one up there. But anyway, all of those ones which are just round trunks, they can all come down and be cut up, because they're not going to be any good for the building stuff that I want to do. I want stuff with cut sides to act as relatively straight parts. So do I do one of those now? No. I'm going to have a go up at this wood on top of the old bathroom, try and get that dismantled and down, so that when we get the person with the big digger in, they can bust down that wall, that breeze block wall, tear down the concrete floor, and then we can start digging out the floor in here in preparation of putting in an insulated concrete slab. Concrete, I'm still unsure. We're still unsure as to whether we're going to go for limecrete or concrete. Don't know yet. But it needs a proper floor in here. Once we've got a proper floor, then we could put a scaffolding tower in here, which we can roll around and remove those safely, do the repointing safely, and get up to this higher level mezzanine, which still has hay on it. But that needs to be brought down safely. And we can't do that unless we get a scaffolding tower in here, because it's just too high and unstable. So I'm going to go and get a ladder, get up there, get some crowbars, big hammer, and I'll clear away this stuff down here. Right, well, now it's time to climb up on top of there with a crowbar and start separating out those bits of wood. You can see that there's some glass fibre insulation in between the bits of wood at the front here, but the rest of them all should come apart relatively easily and relatively cleanly. I'm going to climb up the ladder inside the bathroom, so you may see me. So that is one of the ceiling joists over the bathroom. It gives you an idea of how much rot you can get when you've got a leak like that in the roof. Always address your rot. Some of those little noggins have got nails in. I will do myself a damage on them, I'm sure. Right, so that is pretty much ready to be destroyed and have the concrete plinth taken out. So long as in the process of destroying it, they don't mess with that beam going through there, because we need that. All right, on to the next job. And here we are going into the bathroom. As you can see, it's pretty grotesque in here. There's my crowbar on the floor, crowbar on the ladder, because I removed all of the framework that was for the ceiling. So now you just get to see the upper mezzanine, which is about 1.5 meters, 2 meters above the height of this supposed ceiling. So now I've got to shovel out all of this yuck, bag it up and get it ready to go to the dump, clean up the ladder, and that little hole down there, that was the toilet. So that goes down to the old septic tank, which hasn't been used for 30 years. And I think it still smells, but then again, they are spreading manure around here, so that might be what it is. But anyway, I digress. So going back into the main room downstairs, we've got this wall, which is going to ultimately go. I'm standing on this bizarre plinth. We've got that wall next to the stairs, which is ultimately going to go. And that's the wall there. And that wall at the end is the party wall to the barn in the middle. So still plenty of work to do before, I mean, all of these walls here have been plastered. I hope they haven't been cement rendered, but they are certainly flat. So I strongly suspect I'm going to have to be chipping off that plaster to reveal the stones, to let them get some air before I go ahead and box it all back in again with some plasterboard and some rock wool and something to insulate it and keep it flat, and put the cables and utilities behind. What we're going to do about that fire, we're still in discussions. I think that the brick part of it will probably be treated with chemicals to get it back to the original brick, and then we'll find some way to secure that. I mean, brick should just be brick, shouldn't it? Who knows? We'll see what the surface looks like once we've taken that red paint off. Above it, that might just be lath and plaster, it might just be concrete, who knows. Above some sort of a wooden beam and those wooden corbels that go outside, you can see those on the outside wall. They go right the way through. So that's going to be chipped off to a certain extent to investigate it, but that's for another day. So I'm going to clean up the bathroom now and then go back to our house, have a bath, have a shower, something like that, get clean, have dinner, relax. Having cut up all of that wood, if I feel cold, I've got plenty to keep me warm. All right, on for another day.